Okay, now we are live right now.
Okay.
Hello.
Rich.
Hello.
So we are going to wait for several minutes and to let people getting
Come in.
in. Yes, and usually we have. Okay, we already have 3 people here.
Okay.
So hello guys,
Hello guys, welcome to Comgrow channel, and I'm Flora.
and I'm Kathy,
And
and our guest.
yes, today we are very honored to invite Rich to join us, and he will share his Rich. Yes, and he will share his
Hello.
experience and ideas of laser engraving or CMC. And let's welcome Rich.
Yeah.
And yes,
Thank you.
Greetings. Hi.
Hi.
yes, Rich, could you make a brief introduction of yourself?
Well, hi, John. I see you over there. Well, I am new to all this stuff, videos and YouTube and all this kind of stuff, but I'm not new to the CNC world. I've been around for, I guess, 6 or 7 years, and I get into lasers about 3 or 4 years ago. I bought a basic diode laser, and uh, over the years, I've had friends that have come visit me. I'm in a very popular town in New Orleans, and everybody likes to come here to visit. So they come here and they've seen my laser and some of my work, and they got into it. And then Lightburn came out, and everyone was asking me questions. And so I started making videos, private videos, posted them to my Google account. And over time, I kept getting the same questions from my friends over and over. And I would just share out the video. And one of them said, "Hey, you should start a YouTube channel." So I did a couple of months ago, and here I am.
Yes. I
But
also
I've got let's see, 6 lasers. I've got 5 diode lasers, one CO2. Um, I've got 2 CNCs, 3 3D printers. So I've been around the CNC world for quite a while.
Ooh,
Wow, so
it's
cool.
really experienceable.
Yes.
So your friends is saying hi to you, like fam, say hi.
Yep. Hi, everybody.
Hi everybody. And
still
William is
still
only
getting
saying
over
hi.
still getting over my bout with COVID on day 6, but I'm still here.
Yes, so strong. I mean, so guys, please stay safe. Christmas is coming. I think tomorrow. Maybe for you
For
guys
you,
is
yeah.
yeah. For us is tomorrow, but for you guys
You
is
guys live in the future.
Yes.
So hope you guys enjoy the Christmas and stay safe.
Yes. Merry Christmas. in
Merry
advance.
Christmas. Yes.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Yes. Oh, Rich, you're kind of I think the internet connection
Yes.
is not really
A
good.
little
So
delay.
yeah, there's a lagging on your side.
Oh, I
I
don't know
don't
why.
know. Maybe
I'm on
it's I don't
I'm
know.
on a fiber connection. It should be solid.
Yes. Cool. Okay. Okay. So that's maybe our internet connection though.
Yes.
Now everything is good right now.
Hi, William.
Hello. And also Mike says glad to be here. Yes, we are also glad that you
Yes,
are
we're
here.
also very glad.
Hi, Mike.
And
Hi, Chris. Good to see you all here.
yes, cool. So today will just be a chill talk about our opinions about laser cutting stuff.
Hmm.
And like for those who don't really um, know, Comgrow right now is have a laser machine. It's called Comgo Z1, and we also send uh, Rich one,
Yes,
and
you did.
yes, for the review purpose.
Yeah, I did go ahead and post that review up already with some of my thoughts on it.
Yes,
And
yes,
if you're interested in hearing that, it's, your product is basically the same as most products,
yes.
although with some slight variations. And, it's a diode laser, and there's not much that you can do to change diode lasers. I know a lot of people, they play with the looks and the colors and things like that, but they're all pretty much the same. And I think the thing that makes the Z1 stand out a little bit over the rest is the dot size, the spot size of the laser.
Mm-hmm.
So you get really, really fine. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. This is bamboo, and the graphic that I put on this bamboo
Wait, let me
is
show.
very, very small. The three cats, those lines are less than a half a millimeter, and it came out just superb. Look at the definition of those lines. So that's one of the important things when it comes to diode lasers, is whether or not you have the rectangular spot or whether you have a square spot. And from what I can see, and I did put the spot under a microscope, and although it's not perfectly square, it's almost square.
Almost a square.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's slightly rectangular, but it's probably, I would say, 60% better than most of the other lasers that I own anyway. And the difference is that when you're cutting or engraving on the Y axis, well, you're going to get a nice solid cut or engrave. But
Mm-hmm.
when it switches to the X or a combination of X and Y, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be a lighter, it's going to be a lighter engrave. So because you have less light on the X than you do on the Y. So you wind up not cutting through cleanly. Like, for instance, if you did a circle,
Mm-hmm.
with the rectangular one, you'd have spots on the circle on both sides that wouldn't cut all the way through. So that's, I think, one of the benefits of having that small spot size, is that that really fine engraving and cutting, as you just saw with that bamboo spoon. And that's something that everyone's looking for, in their work with diode lasers, the hobby laserists anyway. The professional laser people aren't really even interested in diode lasers because they're going to use high powered CO2 or fiber laser, or something to that effect, UV.
It's
But
like actually.
for the hobby enthusiast, you want to find the smallest spot that you can. And the Z1 has a really nice spot on it. I have to give it that.
Like on our internet we says that it's 0.08 times 0.08 the spot size.
Yes. Yeah,
So
that's
I
what it
don't I
says.
don't know like average what usually like what how big is the spot size? Is 0.08 good enough for the general hobbyist
Yeah.
or yeah.
Yeah, especially since, a lot of the lasers that are out there are one point something, 1.12 or 1.25. So there's a huge difference between, zero, zero, 0.125 and 0.08, a big difference between the two. So, yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference when it comes to engravings, when it comes to fine detail. And that's what most hobby enthusiasts are going to be doing, is fine detail. They're going to be doing
Yes.
pictures, and they're going to be doing vector art and things like that.
Okay. Yes. So when people usually, if people are interested in this kind of machine, they also consider about how fine the laser can engrave.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well,
So
here's an example of something really tiny. You can compare it to the size of my finger.
Oh, sorry, guys.
And that is really small. And I did this in line mode. I should have done it in fill, but I mean, it came out perfect. And this is a anodized aluminum. And I've got another one here that I did do in fill mode, which is the business card. And I burned this one a little bit light. I should have burned it a little darker. I don't know how well you can see that, but you can even read the text underneath, the imagination part under Comgrow. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, especially with my lighting. But here's the important thing. The important thing is when you do your testing. Now, if you take a look at this, you'll see that it burns all the way down to 10%. There's a gradient all the way down to 10%, which is really good. Normally, I get down in the 20 to 15%, sometimes not less than 20 with my lasers. But with this one, it got all the way down to 10. And you can see that the gradient goes all the way up the scale and doesn't get solid until 90 to 95. So it has a very wide spectrum as far as shading and grayscale is concerned. So that's another important thing when you're looking for a laser is a diode that can burn on that wide spectrum like this one does. And so far, the only two that have come close to that, for me anyway, is the Ortur LaserMaster 2 Pro, which is very expensive, and the Z1. And I like to do these eyes. I have a standard eye that I do to see the definition in the laser. And here you can see, every single lash and even the reflections in the cornea. So the detail is really, really good. And this is, let's see, this one is basswood. And the first one that I showed you is Baltic birch. So another thing is the cutting is very important as well. And this was a test on the cutting. And you can see that it cut really, really, really well. And this is 1.75 millimeter basswood. Let's see what else we have here. So here was another grayscale test, if that first one didn't convince you. And this is also basswood. And you can see how beautifully that scale is, all the way down to 10%, 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up to, I'd say about 90%. There is nice graduation of the grayscale. So, these are the important things that I think people look for. And one of the things that I look for as well in a laser, and it's been kind of hard to find, prior to 2019, you didn't find any diode lasers on the market with collimating lenses. And you advertise yours as a FAC lens, and most people really don't understand what FAC stands for. And that's fast axis collimating. It's the lens itself that's inside. And what the lens does, a laser has, when the laser emits the radiation, the light, it moves in a fast axis direction, which makes it span out thinking of like a funnel. So it gets really wide, even though it doesn't look wide to us. When it hits the material, it's very wide. The FAC lens, or the collimating lens that's inside this laser, causes it to stay narrow. And that's what causes the small dot. And that's really super important. If you're buying a diode laser today, you really should be buying one with the FAC lens. And I find it a little hard to believe that the Z1, a budget diode laser, has a decent collimating lens in it. So that's a really big plus. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Mike. Hi, William. Thank you, Mike. I try. Right now, I'm a little slow with my explanations because I'm on my 6th day of COVID. But and don't worry, you don't need a mask. Hi, William. Thank you. So let me move on to what I've been doing this month. This month, I've been doing a lot of holiday religious stuff. The Christmas trees you already saw on your website. I've got one of them right here up on my shelf back here. I did so far. Let's see. I think I did 20 of those on the tour and about 30 of them on the Comgrow. And this is probably what everybody's liking the most this year, which is a 2-layer nativity scene. So it's 2 layers of wood that are cut out. One is cut and engraved, and the other one is just purely cut out. And then I paint the top layer and leave the back layer for contrast. So these were a big seller this year. I do sell these locally on Facebook Marketplace. I sold the Christmas trees, the nativity scene. I also did some crosses this year. Now, this one is not from the Z1. This is from my homemade laser that I built, but I have these 8-layer crosses. See if I can get it in the right spot. So this is eight different layers. You can see all the different layers there, and I paint each layer a slightly different color. This has been one of my biggest sellers, and I think I did 5 of these, so 40 different layers on the Comgrow. I did 5 of these crosses on the Comgrow. I'm not sure if this one was on there or not. This I think this one was from my homemade DIY laser. And probably the biggest selling item, and this one was on the Comgrow. I just got the roller, thank you, by the way, last week. And I started doing a couple of tumblers. Oh, so the coffee that I'm drinking, I did this for my wife on the Z1. She's a retired nurse. And I stole her cup for tonight just to keep my coffee warm. But this is, I think, my biggest seller ever are bamboo pens. And I've gone through a gross of these in just under 2 weeks or so, or maybe 3 weeks total. And look at the detail on the engraving there of the bamboo. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. And I did these on the roller accessory. The first batch that I did, I had like a homemade piece of styrofoam that I used on a different laser. But this batch here, I did with the roller. I took the clip off the end, put it on the roller, and it came out perfectly straight, where I was a little bit off on the first batch. But these are selling like hotcakes. And one of my subscribers just recently sent me an email telling me that he sold out of his in a couple of days as well. So lots of stuff going on. I've run, I'd say probably 150 or more hours on the Z1 so far, and done all kinds of projects. I've even haven't assembled this yet, but I've even cut out the Starship Enterprise, and this was done on the Comgrow. These are all of the parts here, and I don't know. Let me see if I could tilt it a little bit so you can see it better. It's kind of hard to tilt it because they'll fall off. But this eventually is going to be a 4-inch tall model once I spray paint it and put it together. And then, of course, my biggest seller for the holiday season, or I should say my biggest money maker, is the acrylic. So this was done on the Z1, and it was very quick. Did a really nice job. And of course, this is just my logo, but I had a lot of luck this year with Disney stuff. So I probably got, well, let's see, I have about 20 of these left, and I started with 80 in late November. So this is probably my biggest profit maker anyway, is the acrylic this year. Hi, Stephen.
Hi. So I see like the cartoon on the acrylic. Are we already insisting like did you design the
Yeah,
cartoon and all this? Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah. That's
cool.
my logo.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm
I
actually in the middle of redesigning it, but that's my original logo. And I actually have, from when I had my wood shop, I still have it next door, but I have a burning iron that has that logo on it that I did years ago. And everything that I made in my wood shop, I would burn with that logo.
That's so cool. So I think there's a lot of customized stuff going on here, like what you just show us the pen, and then you can just laser cutting like any letters basically on the
Yeah,
pen and
I do the
become your
pens and
personal
pencils,
expression.
pencils
Yeah,
too. And
that's
the pencils are going to be great for back to school next year, because a lot of parents are going to want their kids to have their names on their pencil, so that they don't lose them, or if they do lose them, they can get them back.
yeah, because they have the name on it. Yes,
Yeah,
it belongs to
Obvious.
me.
yeah.
This is my
And
pencil.
I've also got some new pens that I just got in that are more like a Mont Blanc, and I've just started running some tests on them. I haven't actually gotten the right settings down yet, but I'm getting pretty close, and those are going to be super nice.
Oh wow! So are you going to share on the internet or YouTube like how it looks like in the
Yeah,
future?
when I get the settings dialed in, yeah, I'm going to make a video on it. And another big thing I've been doing lately too are cell phones, not the cases, the actual cell phones.
Oh, so engrave on the back of the cell
Wow.
phone?
Yes,
Is that really
yeah,
possible?
yes,
Well, I know it's possible, but I never tried it.
yeah.
Like,
What I've been doing is, well, I've mostly done this for friends and family, and what I do is I engrave an alternate phone number. So it says like, if found, please call,
oh, on the
with an
back.
alternate.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
So
because so many people, when they lose their phone, they it's locked and the other person can't open it, and or the battery dies, or whatever, and they never get it back.
yes,
So
that's.
I got this idea from my daughter-in-law, as a matter of fact.
It's a
She
good
said, "Can you
idea.
try and engrave the back of my phone?"
I
So I
think
gave it a shot, and it worked. It worked like a dream. That was a Galaxy Note 20, I think it was.
Oh, so it's Samsung.
Samsung, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I saw somebody like on Facebook, somebody engraved on the back of the iPhone. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's different materials.
I see
So
John
yeah,
over at Tripod's Garage. He likes the Z1 as well. I don't know if you watched my review on it, John, but I found your issue with the burning the waste grid. So you might want to take a look at that because the waste grid that you were burning was right up to the maximum limits, and I just scaled mine a little bit smaller without changing the actual size of the grid, and it worked out. It worked out perfectly.
okay. William is asking, are you doing that with CO2 or the diode
No,
laser?
I don't. I don't do anything that I post on YouTube with the CO2. Um, the CO2 is mainly for my quick production work. So if I have to produce 100 of something in a day, I'll use the CO2. But otherwise, I enjoy using the diode lasers just because the CO2 is so expensive. And
I huge. I think CO2 lasers always come like a big machine. Right?
yeah, that's one right there in the back. You see the top of my finger. It takes up the whole corner of the room, and it's more expendable than a diode laser is. The laser tube on the CO2 doesn't last as long as the laser diode does. So I'd prefer to reserve. I've reserved the CO2 for mass production.
Yeah, yeah. So like, just for personal interest, like how much does the usually CO2 machine
Well, I
cost?
got one of the super cheap ones. It was $2,600, and by the time you get the chiller and the accessories, and it's a little over $3,000. But
Okay,
that's on the cheap side.
okay,
They
cool.
run up to 15, 20, 30, $100,000. It depends on what the purpose is that you're going to use it for.
Okay, so like, well, I see. It's really compared to Comgrow Z1, it's another level of the
Oh yeah, there's no
laser.
comparison.
Yeah, no comparison.
No
Okay, cool.
comparison.
Okay, definitely. So like for the entry level, and also just for the hobbyist, maybe like entry level 3 or 4, 300s, 400s laser engraving is probably good enough. Like, what's your recommendation?
Well,
Uh,
people have asked me, and I've referred them to the Z1 because of my experience with it. Um, the the value for the money, and we're talking about a sub $300 diode laser, which is pretty much non-existent anymore. Diode lasers got extremely hot on the market during the beginning of COVID when people were looking for a hobby. And back then, you could buy one for 179, $200 somewhere in there. But
yeah,
after last Christmas, all of a sudden the prices just shot up. My most recent purchase, the laser that I bought last month, was $539 for a 5-watt Ortour. The Laser
yeah,
Master 2 Pro. But
yeah,
of course, that's a slightly different level. It has a few more accessories on it, but um, still, it's a diode laser. You know,
yes.
so when people ask me what's the best budget friendly laser, I my natural reaction is the Z1.
Okay, like for the person who first entered the
Yeah,
hobby.
yeah.
Yes,
If
yes,
you're just getting into laser engraving and you don't know if you're going to like it or not, or you don't know if you're going to make a business out of it. I mean, it's a great way to get started, and that's for sure. Um,
yes, and
any
then
any diode laser is, and like I said, this one is now talking name brand on the and your company is a name brand, Creality. You're a Creality partner, and you have experience with the CNCs, and so I consider Comgrow a name brand. There are some
Mhm.
others out there that are in the same price range, companies that I've never heard of before. And in fact, I've got one on the way. They're sending me one, Diwali, and it's certainly not a name brand, but I'm glad to take a look at it. But
Yes.
while we're on that point of budget laser, there are some things that I would like to see improved as a consumer if I were to be purchasing this, and
Yes.
to run through those pretty quickly. Number one would be the rollers
Mhm.
on the X and the Y. The rollers are smaller than usual. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen rollers this small before, and the quality is not good on the rollers. So they
Mhm.
don't roll smoothly. They don't seem to be precision made. I've taken them off the laser and inspected them. The bearings are rough on the inside. It's just not. It's not. They're not machined right. I would highly suggest that you upgrade to a new supplier for those rollers and use the standard size instead of the small ones. So that would be number one. Number two is more an aesthetic thing. I would like to see all of the wiring coming out of one side of the control board
Oh
instead of
yeah.
on both sides. That way you could route your wires neatly and everything stays together. Some manufacturers even have it come out the front, which I really don't like. So, the routing of the wiring, the control board itself, I would like to see mounted on the front of the frame instead of underneath. Because when you mount it underneath, you take up the pass-through area on the bottom. So you're not able
Oh
to
yeah.
slide your
Mhm.
workpiece in and out. And that's very important to people like me that do larger engravings, where I use a print and cut feature where I slide it in, do half of it, and then slide it further in and do the other half. So having that clearance in both directions is very important, the pass through on both sides. And then another thing too is you'd have access uh, to the well, I don't know why this is. I can't think the SD card.
Okay. Also,
I'm very tired. But the SD card is in a really bad spot. So to get to the SD card, you have to take the control board off the frame, and
mhm.
then the slot you can't press in to get the card out in and out. So you have to use like a needle nose plier to do it. So I would like to see that improved. Possibly have the SD card come out, the side instead, like on a 3D printer or the back, something like that.
Yes.
But and I'd also like to see uh, the printer get the rulers correct on the X and the Y
You mean
because
the scales like,
yes,
yeah, we also have the rulers on on the gantry.
yeah. So if I take and in the software and I move the laser to 200 and 200, well, it doesn't match up with the numbers that are printed on the gantry and the side rails. So I'd like to see the printer get that one right.
Okay.
Um,
Is that also the problem on Z1 as well? I just want to double
yeah,
check
yeah,
with.
yeah. I'm talking about on the Z1. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Two of my
So we
other
will keep
lasers,
note on
they're
that and then
pretty
try
close
to.
to accurate. But
Okay.
on the Z1, they're off. I think the Y
How
was off by 20 mil, and the X was off by 5 or 6, something like that. But it completely defeats the purpose. I mean, they look pretty, but they have no function.
Okay.
So
I think, is there any way on the software that we can adjust the uh origin.
Well, you
Like,
can, but then you would throw off the working area of the laser. The only
oh,
way
I
that
see.
that you can correct that is by calibrating the printer. Have the give the printer the measurements of where they should be printed. You know,
Okay.
so it looks like they're just printed in an arbitrary spot right now.
Okay, cool. So take notes.
And then,
We will rewatch this live again and then
Yes.
trying to
yeah,
tell the develop team.
and I can tell you that one of the most important things that people are looking for now, recently, and I'm talking within the last, I'll say 2 months or so,
Okay.
is more power.
Yes.
So,
Currently.
a dual fac laser at anywhere from 10 to 14 watts, and you
Mhm,
dominate the market. At a lower price point. I mean,
mhm.
obviously, you'd have to adjust the price point up, but I think that you could get in well below NAJ and Atom Stack and the others, as far as price point, by
Mhm,
offering a dual fac laser at
mhm,
10 to 14 watts. And I
mhm.
think that would be a big step forward for your company to offer that option. And of course, have the
Yes.
option 5 or 10 watts.
Yes. Yes. We currently have 5 to 10, 5 or 10 watts one.
Oh,
Yes.
I haven't seen the 10 watt.
The 10 watt. It's just come out, I think, and then we have we are going to like change some features of that as well,
Well,
trying to
that's good
improve.
to hear. So you check one off my list.
Yes. So let's see some comments and let's see what people are saying here. So
Hey, Jerry.
hi.
Hi, Pia.
Pia says I use light burn on my CO2 laser and I want to buy the Z1 for smaller projects. Okay, cool. So if you have any question, we can come tag you later.
Yeah, and
And
that's basically what I do too. Is I use my diode lasers more than the CO2 for sure. Most of my business is fine engraving, and the CO2 cannot engrave as finely as a diode laser can. So if you want to get
oh
the best quality work, of course it's a lot slower, but you're going
yes.
to get the best quality work on smaller pieces. Now I'm talking
Mhm,
smaller pieces, of course.
mhm. Wait, I'm so curious why CO2? Because is it because CO2 is so powerful, so it cannot engrave as well
It's
as?
because of the spot size is completely different.
Oh, okay, I see.
So you're not the beam that's coming, the invisible beam coming from the CO2 laser, is being bounced off of 3 mirrors before it
Okay.
finally reaches the material, and the
Mm-hmm.
spot size is much larger than the diode laser.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we were talking about earlier, the spot size when it comes to fine engraving, you want to have the smallest possible spot that you can get, and that you'll get with the diode laser, or of course you could get a UV laser, or you know you can get any of the metal engravers and get the same results, but then you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes, that's cool. So 3DHP said third bottom below screen. No. What? Okay, sorry.
Oh, he's
Let me.
telling you to put it in widescreen. That's Jerry from 3DHP. He's pretty experienced at this live stream stuff.
Okay. Great. Okay. And also Steven is asking, would the 10 watts be any good for cutting 5 millimeter wood?
Hey, Steven. Yeah, well, I can cut 5 millimeter wood with the 5 watt, so I would say absolutely. Now, let me think for a second. On the 5 millimeter with the Comgo I believe I did 100%, 140 speed, and 3 passes on the 5 mm. So if I were to take a guess, I would say that the 10 watt, and then of course, there's always a limit to how deep you can go, but I would guess that the 10 watt can probably do it, at 200 speed and maybe 2 passes, something like that, depending on your focus. If you're good at focusing, and that's another thing that I would suggest to Comgrow is to change from uh, the the pin on the side that you have to loosen, and the whole module shakes around while you move it up and down. Yeah, you don't get a good focus that way. The adjuster should be built into the back plate on the laser itself, where you just turn it and it raises the whole laser up and down without having to tighten anything down, because you can never get a perfect focus that way. But getting back to the cutting ability, like I said, it depends on the focus. So if you focus 2.5 millimeters down into the wood when you start your cut, I don't think you're going to have a problem with that at all. But things that one person can do, another person can't, just because they don't have their laser focused properly. So focus is the name of the game when it comes to cutting. And these are not cutting machines; these are engraving machines. So moving from the 5 watt to the 10 watt, for me personally, would be for speed. So rather than engraving something at 4,000 millimeters a minute, I'd be able to engrave at 7,000 or 7,500 or 8,000 millimeters, and it would lessen my production time. So that's the benefit that I see in the higher power laser. Now, I have the 14 watt NAJ as well, and that one can put out a lot of work very quickly, because I can run it at much higher engraving speeds than I can the 5 watt. So yeah, I would highly recommend the 10 watt for sure.
Cool.
Now I haven't gotten one yet, so I don't know, um, exactly how well the Z1 10 watt is, but I'm going to guess that it's probably the same as most of the other 10 watts that are on the market today. And so far, they've gotten pretty good reviews.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Rich. We just want to answer Pierre's
Lost your picture
question.
there. All I see is a black screen. There you go.
Oh, wow.
I think you're having some connection issues.
You can't see us?
I see you now, but it's all blurry.
Okay.
Oh.
Then it must be the
Internet.
internet issues then. Can you hear us clearly?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay.
Jerry
Okay.
over there.
So then
Jerry
just
over there says it's the LA Hobby Guy show.
so Pierce, I just checked on Amazon Canada and the rotary roller is not available. But I do have another kit. Okay. So if you are interested in if you are still interested in our products, roller or the Z1, we will contact you later
Yes.
after this live stream. Yeah. Okay.
I think he's saying that he has another
Another
roller,
roller.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. But
What was the exact question that you wanted to know? Is it that can you use it with another roller? Is that the question? If that's the question, um, you can. I mean, as long as the pinout is the same. So your red, your black, your yellow. As long as those, when you hook up the extension wire to the roller accessory, as long as that pinout is the same colors, then you can hook it up. If it's not the same colors, you can make your own wire. For a couple of dollars, the parts are available on Amazon. You could wire up the color code correctly and just plug it straight in. But the thing that I like about the Comgrow's roller accessory is that it's very low profile.
But yeah.
So it sits very low as compared to the other rollers that are out there above the workspace, which gives you more ability to engrave larger items on the roller. And then not only that, but the rollers that they have are above they sit just above the frame of the roller accessory. So I could engrave something that's, a foot and a half or the entire size, the whole 400 millimeters if I needed to. I could engrave something 400 millimeters wide, which you can't do on a lot of other lasers because they have their belts and their pulleys and, on one end. But this one is it's very nice design. It's very sleek. It's very low to the workbed. And it's very easy to use. And it worked the first time, which I have to say was a first for me because I'm used to the Ortour YRR roller accessory, which is a nightmare, and I don't actually know why. Maybe it's just the Ortour control board, but I've noticed that there are 3, 4 different ways that you have to hook it up on 2 of my machines. I have 2 completely different settings that I have to use. So with this one, it was pretty much plug and play. Enable roller, very easy to use, a very quick setup, and I didn't run into one glitch. So I really like the Z1 roller. Thank you for sending that, by the way.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you as well. And yes, sorry, we just had a internet connection problem, and if
You're
if
looking
any-
good now.
yeah, okay, sorry, the internet wasn't really good here, for the past few seconds, I think.
Yes.
But I did hear the final things, the final sentence. So thank you so much as well. We are glad that you like it.
Yes.
I see William is agreeing about the low profile on the roller. Hi, Liam. I see Liam's popped in.
Hi, Liam. So I think there are more audience here, and do you mind like to show them again like what you make, the awesome
Yes.
art,
Awesome
that you
work.
make? Yeah, awesome work. that
Sure,
you
I can go through them again.
It's
Let's see.
it's not in it doesn't really fine really detailed, like just re-show them again, like I want
Yeah.
to see it again as well. It's so
Yes.
creative.
Me too.
All right. So this is one of my biggest sellers this month, which is a nativity scene, a Nativity Cross, and that's 2 layers of basswood. I keep the back layer natural color, and the top layer I paint with a little acrylic paint. So that's one thing. This is if you're a viewer of my channel on YouTube, you've seen me do these and show you how to set up the jig for it. But this is the bamboo cooking utensils, and take a look at the engraving of those cats. I mean, that's just unbelievable. The lines are so fine. They're less than half a millimeter, probably a quarter of a millimeter lines, and they came out just spectacular. And by the way, the name here is an image, so that's a grayscale image. And the text, you can see the text, how tiny that is compared to my thumb right there, or my finger. Uh, let's see, this. This is the acrylic signs that I do, which was a big seller this year. I did a bunch of these, mostly Disney stuff, and I guess they're great for night lights for kids. This one was done on the Z1 in just a couple of minutes too. Did a fine job.
Great. Yeah.
My biggest seller of the year is my pens.
Yes, that's also
So,
one of my favorite as well.
yeah.
Like now I was thinking, hey, after this live stream, I will go back and then do the engrave on my pen as well.
And this one, I don't have it on, but normally I have my logo on here as well.
Yes.
So right before the name is my logo that you just saw on that acrylic.
Yes.
And the Z1 does a fine job on that. Even as tiny as it is, it does a really superb job on that. And of course, this one I think this one I did on my homemade laser, but I did several of these on the
That's
Comgrow as well. And this is
I like this one as well.
the 8-layer Christian cross with the face of Jesus, and it's 8 layers thick.
That's so beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Details are very great.
So
Yes.
this is also one of my favorites, and turned out to be one of my wife's favorites, and she wound up ordering them from me at no profit to give out for gifts to her choir members. So those are just a couple of the things that I've been working on, and of course I'm still working on my Starship Enterprise. I have it all cut out. Let me see if I can.
We are kind of interesting, like how it looks like when you
Yeah.
assemble all of them.
Well, once it's all assembled, it's going to be about 4 inches tall, and it's going to be on a stand like the actual toy Starship Enterprise that you see in the toy stores. You know, it's got the angled stand and with the starship on top and the round base on the bottom.
Oh.
So I just haven't had the time to assemble it with this, this whole month doing
Yes.
holiday gifts and things. And
Yes.
I've also got some Star Wars fighters that I've cut out as well. I haven't assembled those yet either. I still have to assemble and paint those. All of my little hobbies have been put off, until after the holiday season. But I'll be
Mhm.
back to them again next month. And I also did. I've done a couple actually. Eiffel Towers that over 21 inches tall, and
Wow. I think we also have. Yeah, I don't see that behind us, but
yeah,
I would
I've
have like
seen yours.
or
Yeah, I've seen yours. Not
Yeah.
quite as good as mine though.
Agree.
Let me see if I think if I turn this a little bit, you can see it right up there. Right,
Oh,
right
I
there.
can tell
That's
on the machine, right?
Yeah.
On top.
Uh-huh.
That's really
I think
big.
mine has a little more detail than yours.
Yeah.
But I spent quite a few hours on working on that file. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours. The original file I got from someone a couple of years ago, and I never really messed with it. And there are a dozen of these files that are out there,
Online.
SVGs.
Yeah.
None of them really work well. So this one I took the time. I did a couple of test cuts. It wasn't working, and I spent 5 or 6 hours cleaning the whole thing up, and finally got it to work perfectly. And a lot of people have made this Eiffel Tower because of that video. I've made 5 of them so far with the Congo, and I've made about 9 of them with my other lasers. So I've made a whole bunch of these already. Everybody that sees it wants to have one.
Pierre says, I'm a CNC machinist group leader where I am retired but worked 35 years in the aerospace industry. Wow. That's so
And
cool.
I guess he would appreciate the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah. And also, he said, I have a 6040 liquid cool 2.2 kilowatt spindle CNC mills.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'd love to have something like that. Right now I'm still stuck on my 3018, and I also have a homemade, which is it's probably 44 by 24, something like that, that I made about 6 years ago. So I'm still when it comes to the CNC world, I'm still playing with little toys
Yeah.
compared to you anyway.
Okay. So 时间要到了。It's 是时间要到了。Okay. So does anybody else has any other questions? We only have 5 minutes left in our
I
we
want
only
to say thank you for everybody stopping in. I see a bunch of my friends jumped in here, and some new people that I haven't met before.
yes.
If you're interested in what the Z1 can do, look me up on YouTube, the Louisiana Hobby Guy. I do light burn instructional videos, and people get a kick out of it. So they really like it. My channel is growing incredibly fast. Not anything that I ever expected, and I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon. There's just so many things to share with people about Lightburn and the things that it can do that I'm having a good time doing it, and I'm just going to keep posting the videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also thank you so much for making the videos. Like yesterday I was trying to play around with the laser stuff. By the way, we are kind of new, and then because we are not a technician guy, we are just like the
Well, then
regular.
you need to watch some more of my videos.
Yeah, and then I search how to make puzzle like in Lightburn or somewhere. The first video that pops out is your video.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that's a popular video. People love making the puzzles, and I have the free downloads in my forum, so they go there and download the puzzle, make their own. I mean, this is all art, and for people like me that have virtually no talent, I mean, it's a way to feel like you're talented and make things that impress yourself, and I like to do things that impress myself. So, and every day where I can do something where I impress my own self, I'm a
that
happy
would be so
person.
nice, and it's really satisfying when
Yes, it
see
is.
the true things.
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's cool. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you for the link, William.
Yep. And so for
Yes.
those who are really interested in like the laser cutting stuff, and we recommend you also as well to go to YouTube and search the Louisiana Hobby Guy, which is rich.
And you can find my full review there on the Z1 as well. So, and there's also a link in the description if you wanted to purchase one as well.
Okay. Yes.
And I believe that is an affiliate link. So just for full disclosure, if you buy from my link, you help support my channel.
Yeah. Yes. And
so you two girls, even if you want to buy one, don't buy from the company. Go click on my link.
Click your link and buy from there. Okay. So once again, Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
And
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Stephen, John. Good to see you all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever it is that you celebrate. Have a great New Year.
Yeah, you too. Happy New Year as well. And then hope you can be better soon.
Yes.
And recover better.
Thank you very much. I'm in good hands.
All of you healthy and happy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Maybe we can have next time.
Yes.
And we will choose some really critical question to ask you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, cool. See you.
Bye now.
Okay, I'm going to end the broadcast. Bye. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.